What's the Vibes Tribe? Welcome back to Life Student Academy, where we get inspired, stay informed, and have conversations that helps us to grow spiritually so that we can thrive in all areas of our lives. I keep receiving this message, which is actually a part of a song, so I thought it was important to share because it can't just be for me, tribe. I know this will find the individuals that it needs to find. Sorry for the wind. I hope you can hear me. I don't know what to tell you. It's windy and cold in New York City, but here we go. I keep hearing the phrase, reach out and touch faith. Reach out and touch faith, which is actually a part of a song titled Personal Jesus. And I haven't heard the song in a while actually, but I kept hearing the phrase one morning and it's been with me all week. So I started to think about a few things in which there's so many changes happening, y'all, out in the world. And obviously that means that there's changes happening within us because nothing's happening outside of us that's not taking place inside of us. And so I started to think about the shifts that are taking place in my personal life and what my personal Jesus would say to me. My personal Jesus would say, reach out and touch faith. Now the logical thinking mind will say, well, you can't touch faith, right? Faith is not an object to be touched. But then I started to think about and actually feel about faith. Faith is a feeling. It's not even something to think about. Like you either have faith or you don't have faith. There's no in between. It's very black and white. And I know that right now, so many people are having a hard time with the changes that's happening, whether that be something political, with our administration, or maybe it's something personal right inside of your own home that you got to deal with. But either way, you know, it's not easy. It's not easy to deal with the woes of the world and the woes in your personal life unless you have faith. I don't think having faith necessarily makes things easier to deal with, but in some ways I do, because here's the thing. Faith, since it's a feeling, just like any other emotion, it wavers, right? Feelings come and go, they ebb and flow, just like the waves of the ocean. However, faith can't work like that. Faith has to be the exception. You know? Faith has to be the exception because it's either you have it or you don't. And if you have it, that means that things are going to work out, y'all. That means that whatever shadows and darkness or unfavorable things that are happening right now that you wish were not, or that you would change if you could, that means that those things are here for a reason. Because, I mean, how else would we exercise faith had we not had the opportunity of the woes in which we were to exercise it? Think about it. What would we need faith for otherwise? Why would we need to have faith if we did not have the circumstances and the opportunities in which we needed to exercise faith? It's the same principle for everything else, right? It's like saying, I don't have patience. I mean, first of all, if you're going to affirm that you don't have patience, then obviously you don't have it. But then the perspective shift is to use the opportunity in which your patience is being tested to exercise patience. And it's the same thing with faith. Like, we're supposed to be utilizing this time and the circumstances in which we're finding ourselves as a collective or as an individual to exercise faith. And your faith has to be so strong in this moment right now that you can't touch it. Obviously, it doesn't mean literally, like, because it's not an object. Faith is what the Bible tells us, that God will take care of things. And so if you believe that to be true, then obviously this is just a moment in time like everything and anything else. This is a moment of time in which we're supposed to be exercising faith so that God could come through and be like, see, told you. And then for us to be like, see, I've always had faith. I already knew what it was. I already knew that it was going to work out. And that's a beautiful thing too, is to actually know, to be certain that things are going to work out. And so that means everything that shows up that would counter that and would make it seem like things are not going to work out is just an illusion. It is just an illusion that things are going wrong. It is just an illusion that things are not working out for you. Shit, it's even an illusion that we're putting our fate into political figures' authority. It was never that way. Like, God is the Most High, always. It was never a president, you know? It's never a judge. Look at all of our high prestigious world leaders, especially those of color, especially those who were in jail. Nelson Mandela, Malcolm X, you know? Do you think that they did not have faith? The faith was so strong that they were able to reach out and touch it. It doesn't mean that it didn't waver either. Like, that's a human quality. That's something that we're human, you know? So it's like, it's hard. But think about every figure and character in the Bible. Every figure and every character in the Bible had went through the most challenging things, right? Like, they've been through the ring of the fire. And even the characters in the Bible would say, like, I didn't think God was going to pull me through. Jesus said that. You know? Like, is God forsaking me? Is God forsaking us? Is God forsaking the world? It's not even a valid question. It just feels that way. It seems that way. But you got to remember, that's an illusion. And so now that you know that, you gotta have faith that you can reach out and touch. Wow! Sorry, y'all, got distracted by a dog. So, just a reminder that your faith has to be so strong that you can reach out and touch it. Reach out and touch faith, because you know that it's there. No one has to say that it isn't. You know it. You know it to be true. There's so many examples that we have ahead of us in which they were able to see through their hard times. We're not the first. We're not the only ones. We're not alone. It doesn't matter if you know somebody that has the same situation as you do. If it's worse, if it's a little less worse. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. This is the experience of life. This is why we're students of life. We're here to learn. And so we're going to have these experiences that's supposed to teach us a valuable lesson. But are you willing to see that lesson through? Think about going to school. Did you see that grade through or not? Some people dropped out. It's all good. It's not about whether you drop out or whether you don't, but life is a school in itself, and we're here. So we don't get the opportunity to drop out of life. I mean, you know what I mean, y'all. Don't drop out of life. Keep going. Pass the test, pass the grade. Because you can, and you have what it takes. It's inside of you. And the only book that you need to study out of is the ones that have come before us. Or maybe it is a book that you prefer to read, like the Bible or the Quran. I keep seeing pups, y'all. You're so beautiful. Maybe books like the Bible and the Quran or the Torah, maybe those help you. It helps me. But if it's not that, I mean, you're gonna learn anyway. You ain't missing nothing. God got you. Like, we gonna show you the ropes. We're gonna put you through the ring of fire just to show you that you can get through the other side. And here's just a little quick tip about time. Time helps us to keep up with each other. The time on the clock, the time on the calendar, what day it is, which date it is, what month it is, the year. That helps us to have perspective inside of the world. You gotta understand that faith is otherworldly. Faith is not of the world. Faith is when God says. That's the time. Divine time is when God said so. That's when all of the pieces of the universe comes together and conspires so that we can have what we want, so that the answers can come to us, so that we can have the solutions, so that miracles and magic can happen in our lives. There's no time on the watch for that. There's no time on the calendar for that. Nobody said February 2nd, 2025. That's not how it worked, baby. Matthew 21:22. And whatever you ask for in prayer, you will receive it if you have faith. Like, don't get it twisted. You can't miss that part. Just have faith. It's like, damn, it's not on my time. When you know that things don't happen on your time, now you know. So it doesn't mean that the thing isn't going to happen for you. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have it, that you can't be it, that you can't do it. If it's not for you, it won't happen. And then God has something better at best and at the worst. Things don't happen the way that we want it. Things happen the way that we need it to. Things don't happen on our time. It happens when it's supposed to. Divine time. That's why it's called that. So have faith, y'all. Don't give up. Turn off the news sometimes. Like, we stay informed to be more aware, not for fear. You shouldn't be watching the news and becoming more and more scared every day and having more and more anxiety every day. For all of that, turn it off. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen if you don't? Someone else is going to tell you something. They're going to give you the word. Like, you're never going to miss a word that you're supposed to have, because God uses us as vessels. You don't have to get it from the news. You don't got to get it from your social media. So at best, ask what you want. Ask for what you want. And have faith. Till next time, tribe. Peace out.